Welcome to Alive and Thriving. My name is Jessica. I am your host, and I welcome you here today as we talk about a couple of things actually. We're going to talk about launching, okay, and specifically launch emotions. We are going to talk about experiences that we have as service providers, as healers, as coaches who are branching out into launching digital products, into launching our group programs, into launching, I don't know, anything that we're launching, right, in our business, and the way that impacts us emotionally. And the way that impacts our life around us and our family, and all of the moving pieces of our life when we're launching, and how I know a lot of people will avoid launching purely because of the stress that they feel when they are launching. Because you know what? Launch brain is real. Launch brain is a real thing. And it's something that we don't speak about very often. Yeah, we're going to launch. We'll have this 5-day open cart. I have been in a mastermind for 3 years now with women who are continually launching their digital businesses. I have launched countless times within my own business as well. And it drains you. Like, it is draining. And here is what I find that when people are launching, that is when their sabotage comes up. That is where, if you are going to hit an upper limit, if your visibility fears are going to come in, if your stories about not being able to get to your next level of income are going to come in, if they are all going to come in, they're going to come in while you're launching. So, before we move into our episode today, I want to give you a gift because I've literally just come off launching. And I'll share a little bit about the way that I have made some changes with my launches shortly when we get into the episode. But I've just come out of a launch, and at the same time that I was launching, four of my friends were launching, as well as two of my clients. And so I have been observing through this time not only my launch experience and how I'm feeling, and I'll again explain how I've been able to optimize my launch experiences to actually work with my energy type, but I've observed stress. I've observed self sabotage. I've observed self doubt. I've observed all of this fear. What if I don't get the same results as last time? What will that say about me? Maybe I've observed people being so attached to the financial outcomes from their launches that it literally has sabotaged their attempts. I've seen people sabotage because their next launch that they're coming into, the not program, sorry, the live launch event that they are running to launch with is so much bigger than before. There's more people. There's more people they need to serve. There's more energy they need to hold space for. There's more eyes on them. There's more chance of people who are not going to be happy. That just happens in a large group of people. There will always be people. You cannot meet everybody's expectations. But all of these things are what makes these entrepreneurs who are so amazingly skilled at what they deliver in their services and in their programs, these life changing programs that they're offering. And these things are what that will send them undone. It is the emotional challenges and the thoughts that cause the emotional challenges that stem from your beliefs, your core beliefs, that are going to pop up as you come into your next level, likely around the time of a launch. And then we have stories like this: no one wants to buy my stuff. Oh, that was my story. I've shared that before. That was my story for years. No one wants to buy anything that I put out. That's not true. But whilst I believed that, how much do you think I sold? So we end up with those kinds of stories. I failed. No one wants to buy my thing. And if you are not well supported in your launching journey, then you might be likely to be like, oh, no one bought that. Therefore, I need a whole new product suite. It's not your offer. It's not. There is going to be little tweaks along the way, all this data to analyze, starting right up with your visibility. And by the way, we are hosting this month in the mastermind a half day virtual retreat to craft a beautifully magnetic visibility strategy. I am so excited. And I just gently drop that in case you're listening and you're like, you know what? I am ready. I'm ready to up level my business. I am launching regularly. I want support mentally, emotionally, and strategically with my business and my launches. Well, let's chat. Let's get you into the mastermind before our retreat. That'll be fun. And if you're listening to this afterwards, it'll be in the replay. So it is still a bonus that you will receive. It just won't be the live support. So that was a little sidetrack there. Sorry. If you are watching me on through YouTube, I'm just dancing my way through this episode today. So I have created a gift for you based on the emotional experiences that I have just seen, that I've experienced myself through my clients. Sorry, my hair is in my face. Through my clients, through my peers that I have witnessed. And this free gift is, gosh, I think I need to go back to bed today. This free gift is a launch support emotional toolkit. Okay, I'll find a better name for it. I haven't done that yet. Right now, it's so simple and straightforward. It is a launch emotional support toolkit. There we go. My words are working now. Basically, I have created, so they are professionally written because I am a professional EFT practitioner, as well as all of the other modalities that I work with. I deeply understand what is going on at your subconscious level. So I have created for you, I have written 5 EFT scripts that I have turned into simple plug and play audios for you that literally guide you through what points to tap on and what to say and what to do within your body. We are not just staying at surface level words, we are diving into how you actually feel so that you can support your emotions to actually move through your body, bring safety to the emotional experiences that you are having through your launch. And because of the way that tapping works, at the same time, that safety message is going to be signaling to your amygdala that belief that you have that is underlying your fear of visibility, the stress that you have right now, all of the things that you are feeling in your launch, that is actually going to help to rewire that belief. So we are not only looking at instant, what do you call it, short-term gratification in terms of feeling better through your launch and emotionally supporting yourself through your launch through these plug and play audios, topics like visibility increase. Oh gosh, now I got to remember. Launch stress, launch brain. Again, that frozen state of launch brain is huge. So visibility, launch stress, self doubt slash imposter syndrome coming into your launch, and a financial one. And so these are going to help you to really mitigate those emotional challenges. And it's free, it's a gift for you. So I have made sure we have popped the link to that directly underneath this episode. No matter where you're listening, you can get that link and just literally pop in your email and it will send it straight over. And you can use these audios, yes, in your launch, but at any time that you need as well. Which leads me so beautifully into what we are going to get into today, which is how you can really specifically use tapping, EFT, one of my favorite tools. There are so many amazing tools, quite a few that I use in my toolkit. But tapping is one of, in my opinion, the most effective ways that we can bring safety to your emotions, that we can help you have a healthy emotional experience as well. Because the more we can sit and bring safety as we feel these emotions through the tapping, the more we are going to be able to not fear this discomfort. And then we don't suppress it. And then it passes through. It moves. Energy moves. Emotions are energy in motion. If they become stagnant, then you are repressing emotions, holding them in your body, and creating a toxic breeding ground inside of your body for illness. That's not exactly where we're going today. But yeah, so I want to talk about how you can emotionally support yourself. Yes, use these audios, but how you can use EFT to support yourself through a launch in ways that you might not have ever thought about before. So you might have thought, okay, maybe I'm feeling stressed or I'm feeling nervous before I present. Maybe I'll use tapping then. But I'm going to share some other ways that you can use EFT throughout your launch process. And by the way, if you really do need support throughout your launches, or you just want support throughout your launches so you can show up as your next level version to hold your next level launch, then you might like to consider either coming into the mastermind where you also get one-on-one support as well as a bonus. So you could use that, say, maybe through your launch. Or you could have a chat to me about what one on one mentoring and therapies might look like tailored to your launch schedule. That's something fun we could do. So let's get into today's episode.
You're listening to Alive and Thriving with Jessica Reed, the podcast that's all about empowering you to achieve optimal wellness and success through self-care, holistic practices, and raw conversations. Jessica and her expert guests are here to share powerful insights and strategies to help you overcome stress and anxiety, take charge of your life, and thrive in life and in business. Grab a cuppa and let's dive in.
Let's begin this episode by really reaffirming what an emotional roller coaster a launch is. I would like to know from you. Come into my inbox in Instagram. Have you launched before? Are you a seasoned launcher? Are you wanting to launch something? Do you have any idea how to launch? What is your launch experience at the moment? And in the experiences you have had, or even just thinking about getting ready to launch, how do you feel? What's happening in your body? What are you feeling? And as you feel into that discomfort in your body, the sensations, the lump in the throat before you go live, the tightness in your chest, that gripping in your stomach when you just think about the fact that you are going to be running more money into your Facebook ads and seen by thousands more. Where you're going to be holding space for people in a container where they are all eyes on you, in a webinar, in a masterclass, in a challenge, in whatever live launch style you are showing up to. How does that feel for you? And then let's even come out of the visibility. And let's look at the fact that maybe you have launched before and you had a failed launch. And so now you're getting ready for your new launch and you're like, I'm already going to fail. That's just what's going to happen. I'm going to fail. You've already got that story. You're telling yourself that you're going to fail based on your past experiences because your body remembers the overwhelm you felt. It remembers the stress that you felt. It remembers the sensations that you had in your last launch experiences. And therefore, it's just preparing you to protect you. That didn't feel so good. I don't really want to feel that again. So we better be prepared for this. Let's make sure she knows that she is going to fail before she even starts. No. This is not the experience you deserve to have when you are launching. Now, there are so many different aspects that are going to come into play here. For me, for my emotional experiences through my launches, I am an emotional. I've always been highly emotional. I deeply understand now that I embody my human design, that my solar plexus, my defined solar plexus, means that I'm going to have emotional highs and emotional lows, and that they're going to come whenever the hell they want to come. I don't really have much control over that. And I might be so high right now in the morning, and this afternoon might just be like completely low and flat, irritable, sad, anxious. That's okay. I'm learning to observe those, to embrace them, to know that I always come out the other side. I had a huge one yesterday. Yesterday's low was, yesterday I was really high. You might have seen my stories. Yesterday, I was dancing in my car. Naughty by Nature came on, and I was like, yes, this is my teenage years. I was like just feeling really great. And then not long after that, I started feeling a bit anxious. No identified reason, except that my body knew I was going to the kinesiologist. And then that was a big emotional release there. But the fact is that then I went into a low, and I was low and I was flat. And then I've woken up today and I feel good. And me knowing and understanding that low and high cycle is going to come into my world at any time. And maybe it's going to last a day or an hour, or maybe it lasts a series of weeks. I have had weeks and weeks and weeks, months, because there's multiple weeks where I have been in this low. So for me, this is not launch advice for you. This is launch advice that I had to learn from me based on my unique energy type. A short open cart period does not work for me. It doesn't work for me because, yes, it works in that it can bring people in. But what it doesn't work with is the fact that if I come into a low during that short open cart period, I'm not going to show up. I can't. It is really hard to show up and hold space for people at the level you need to and be as visible as you need to be when your body is riddled with anxiety or when you are feeling just really emotionally low. That is really hard. So, I actually have gifted myself long launch periods and building evergreen funnels so that I can use my response to launch when it feels good for me to launch, but I'm not reliant on that launch as my sole income. So when I think about the experiences I had with launches that were misaligned, with launches that were working in a way that didn't feel good for me, and I'm sharing this with you so that before you actually even look at the emotional challenges that you have through your launches and the sensations you feel through this experience, I want you to actually look at, is my launch even feeling aligned for me? Or are there things that I need to do to best support myself? Because I tell you, so many people, they launch, and what happens externally? Their house is a mess. They're fighting with their partner or their husband. They're not exercising. They're not taking care of themselves. Like all of this falls out the window when they're launching. And why is that? Because we go into this autopilot stress mode where this is tunnel vision. We are so purely focused on this launch. But guess what? If you can show up in an emotionally healthy experience through your launch, and you can show up looking after yourself and nurturing yourself and showing up daily in a window of tolerance, you are going to have a greater launch result. And the impact, because I'm a big believer, like I could go really hard and I could push myself through those lows 100%. I could show up anyway. I could push myself through those lows. I could go so hard through a launch period and neglect my home, neglect my family, neglect my health. And what's going to happen at the end? We all have a launch crash anyway. But guess what? I'm going to triply crash. I'm going to absolutely fall in a heap afterwards because my body has not been nurtured or looked after. And that is going to lead to a period of ill health. This is not just about, me personally, I choose to not hustle in that way. I work hard, yes, but I choose to not put my body through that, knowing the impact of stress in my body. I just won't do it anymore. I protect my energy, and I've chosen a different way to launch, a way that I actually really enjoy now. And it feels good and it feels spacious. And there's no shame or fear or failed launch because I've been in a low at some point or because things are happening and I'm having human experience while I'm launching. So let's talk about how we can use tapping as we are navigating our launch in really specific ways. So, as I've spoken about before, as I was just speaking about, there are so many emotions that come in launch. And so that is really like the first thing I want to share with you in terms of using EFT for your launch. It could be, and if you have never tapped before, let's link a diagram. I'm going to link my EFT diagram down in the show notes so you can have a look at the tapping points. And again, before your next launch, or even just right now, if you are an entrepreneur and you are launching anything, grab my emotional support toolkit. It is free. I will guide you through. Tap on the side of your hand, tap on your eyebrow, but there are other points below. So I want you to think about an emotional experience that you're having in your launch and how simply you could tap about that. So, tapping on the side of your hand, even though I am feeling really stressed today, even though I feel like there's not enough time, even though I'm feeling nervous before I present, using tapping to spot fire your emotional challenges is the first way that I'm going to suggest using it. And that's probably the most obvious way. I'm going to tap, even though I feel this way, I love and accept myself anyway, or I remind myself that I am safe. I choose to believe this will pass. I accept my feelings and they will pass. Insert your statement of acceptance. I have podcast episodes where I explain all about how to set up EFT statements. So I'm not going to go deep into that today, but I will just remind you that when we are tapping, we're stimulating energy meridians that surface close to the skin. And as we stimulate those, it has been proven now over 30 years of clinical studies and all these different scans and so many amazing things that I am so happy people are doing for the world of EFT, showing that when we tap, there is a calming signal being sent to your amygdala. And your amygdala works in emotional association. It has a language of association. And so if the amygdala has associated a thought, a memory, a launch in being a certain way, remember your body remembers how you felt and it's associated it as not being safe, then the amygdala is going to basically send out alarm bells through your body and say, we're not safe, let's engage fight or flight response, let's engage. And this is why we become so stressed when we're launching, because our amygdala has been sent signals to say this is dangerous because of how you have emotionally associated things. So we tap and we have these calming signals sent up to the amygdala, sending signals of safety at the same time as your brain is getting signals of distress. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow your amygdala to be like, okay, I imagine the conversation goes exactly like this. I cannot be receiving signals of safety and signals of danger at the same time. Therefore, we are going to deactivate that danger response. And then our parasympathetic nervous system is called in, and we can return back to rest and repair, back to regular functioning. Then there's the other element of tapping as we tap, where we're tapping on, again, energy meridians. So traditional Chinese medicine, our body is mapped with these energy highways, and they bring life force energy to every single organ and muscle in your body. And when energy becomes stagnant along those highways, then it can cause, again, an environment for illness, for disease. And so as we start tapping, we are allowing that energy, those emotions to start flowing through, and we can actually move it through the body. So we don't have to hold on to it. And so we break the association at the same time. It is like taking a pair of scissors and cutting the cord between I have associated showing up on Facebook Lives as being really scary. Now I've cut that cord and I no longer have that same emotional association. And when you can use EFT effectively, and I have seen this, oh my gosh, countless times. I have experienced it countless times, but also it is written in the book, The Science Behind Tapping by Dr. Peter Stapleton, that when you can effectively use EFT to deal with an issue. And I say effectively because we do want to be getting our units of distress right down to a 0 to 1 before we move into our positive statement to be really effective. But when we can effectively tap on something, it is not likely you're going to have to tap on that again. And that is why it is such a profound tool for not only stress management, for emotional processing, for rewiring your limiting beliefs, but also it's an amazing trauma treatment. So that's just a little FYI. If you're like, she's talking about tapping, are we putting our tap shoes on? Are we dancing? Like, what is happening here? Tapping is the modality that saved my quality of life. So that is a whole nother story. I'm sure I've shared it many times. As I said, tapping in the first way through a launch is going to be identifying your emotional experience in that moment and choosing to process it. So it's not, I'm really stressed, I'll deal with that later. It's not all your tech breaks right before your webinar and you cannot log in, or you're getting emails and people are having trouble logging in. You've sent the wrong link out, whatever has happened, and you're having that real, like, overwhelming response in your body that this is so stressful. This is where you can tap through this. You can actually, so rather than feeling that and allowing that to become your body's remembered and lived experience through this launch process, tap. Now, obviously, we teach clinical EFT, but as a practitioner, I work with so many extra points. And sometimes when we're tapping, we're not going to do the full clinical EFT sequence. We're just going to choose one point. So if you are in a situation that is time sensitive, like for example, all your technology has just broken and you're trying to get on, I would be tapping on one spot as I'm doing. I'd have my hand on the mouse with one hand, and I would have one hand on my collarbone tapping at the same time. And that's just going to help to, again, send those calming signals without having to do the full sequence. And you can come back and process it later. So, tapping for emotional balance through your launch, tapping for a healthy emotional experience through your launch. Doesn't that just sound nice? Like, I am not going to be overwhelmed by stress. I am not going to be snapping at my family. I am not going to be feeling these really uncomfortable feelings in my body. I'm going to have a healthy emotional experience while I launch. I'm going to feel grounded. I'm going to feel confident. I'm going to feel like I've got this. And my emotions and my thoughts are going to support me through that. Now, we just spoke about mitigating, launch day challenges. You can also use tapping as like a pre-launch ritual. So something to actually really positively tap in confidence. So it doesn't have to be so much an even though statement. Let's say you are getting ready to come live on something. You could be tapping, you could be like, okay, I am ready to hold space for all of these people and I choose to ground myself. And I'm releasing any excess from my body, releasing anything that doesn't serve me. And I choose to be focused and grounded as I tap into my body and I prepare to hold this space, feeling calm and confident. So you can tap in these beautiful affirmations. I am already successful. I am magnetic when I speak. Tap in these beautiful affirmations. And when we tap again, we're sending calming signals up to our amygdala. So it's actually going to help you to better believe your affirmations. So you can tap for self-doubt. So now we spoke about before feelings. I'm feeling stressed. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling nervous. I'm feeling worried. Now I want to talk more about the words in your head. So you, as a beautiful, spiritual, soul-led entrepreneur, one of your main jobs is self-awareness. That is one of your main things to continue to work on throughout your whole life, is your self-awareness. So if you have the awareness to notice that the thoughts in your head, it's like the programming that you are running your computer from. Like, you are not going to launch with outdated webinar software that doesn't hold the room, that doesn't hold the amount of people you need in your room, that doesn't support you to share your screen. Like, that is old programming. So why are you coming into your launch allowing the thoughts in your head, the old programming, to take over? The self-doubt, the negative self-talk, the imposter syndrome thoughts, these are all coming from a core belief somewhere. Something that is making you believe at some level you cannot do this for whatever the reason may be. So, noticing and observing the thoughts in your head and then using tapping. Even though I'm telling myself that I'm going to fail, I choose to process this thought now, and I love and accept myself anyway. And repeating that 3 times and then tapping around and keeping your statements so simple, repeating the words that are causing you distress. I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail. What if they laugh at me? 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 You'll never get 100 people. I'll never get 100 people. I'll never get 100 people. I'll never get 100 people. Who am I to be doing this? 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 I want you to think about, I'm already dreading the stress. You launched last time, it was really stressful, you felt overwhelmed. You're launching again. You've moved from that excitement of getting your product back in front of people to now feeling like, I'm already dreading the launch stress. I'm already dreading the launch stress. I'm already dreading the launch stress. I want you to say these words until you feel like they hold no emotional attachment anymore. And then notice how, I'll bet, they don't even come back into your mind as you're launching. And if they do, there is a different underlying component to it. Tap again. Even though I'm thinking this, even though I am thinking these words, even though I whatever the words are for you, I choose to have a different experience. I choose to process it through my body, and then tap on your words. I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail. And what if no one turns up? Oh, that's a big one. I know people who hold so much shame because they've held a live launch event and no one turned up. It's actually really common, particularly when it's the numbers game. If you're earlier in your business and your audience is smaller, then you need a larger number to come in because it's only a very small percentage of those numbers that are going to show up. Let's say you have a 40% live show up rate, but you have, I don't know, 50 people register. And then from that show up rate, you have people who need to buy, right? So looking at your percentage of people who need to buy, we're going to actually, but you want 20 people in your program. We need to increase the numbers up here. Okay. So that was off topic, but it's a really common experience to be running webinars or masterclasses to one person, no people. If you show up and there is no one there, what a brilliant opportunity for you to practice. That is how you see that. You see it nothing other than an opportunity for you to show up in your best energy. And this is another opportunity for you to master your craft. If you show and you do not put any meaning to that, you do not go and attach any meaning about your worth, about your capabilities. It is literally just an opportunity for you to master your craft. The universe has gifted you that. If you show up and there is one person there, that is not disappointing. You love on that one person. And if that one person does not come into your course that you are selling, well, you get to have a conversation with that one person. Learn from them. What did you take away from this experience with me? What could I do better? Actually, would you prefer a one-on-one container? No, learn from that. Everything that you are being delivered in your journey is a gift. And any sensations of discomfort, you get to tap them away. So tap on releasing your fear of failure. Tap on staying grounded through your launch period. Every single day, intentionally wake up in your morning and ground into your body. Tapping is a somatic experience. It combines somatics with cognitive processing. So tap, ground into your body, come deeply into your body every single day. to stay connected, because as soon as you come out of your body and into your head in your launch experience, you are going to run into autopilot. You are going to miss the awareness of the thoughts that are not serving you, the programming, the beliefs that are not serving you. You are going to miss the feelings, and you're just going to sit in those feelings, and you're going to repress the feelings, and you're not going to acknowledge that those feelings might also be a communication for you as well. Like for me, my last launch, I was doing some things that felt off, and they weren't wildly off. But I was like, oh, it's all right. Maybe I'm just nervous. Maybe I'm just because I was trialing some new messaging. Maybe I'm just nervous. Maybe I'm this. Maybe no. I need to listen to my body. But I have to be grounded enough to come back in and actually listen and pay attention and find out what is the message. So tapping can help you stay really grounded and connected to your body through your launches. Tap right before you go live on something. This nervous energy that I feel is excitement. I'm turning this into excitement. I'm telling myself I feel nervous, but now I'm turning that into excitement. So use it to your advantage. You have this amazing tool right at the tips of your fingers to help you process emotions, move through discomfort, tap in new beliefs, rewire the way that you think, like literally rewire your subconscious programming and support your health at the same time at your fingertips. You have this tool at your fingertips. And so start using it strategically through your launch. You might not even have some words. Your morning tapping might just be tapping with some beautiful breath work. I love doing that. Tapping and breathing. That's it. Tap and breathe. That might be your daily self care through your launch period. Tapping and breathing. So, I hope that this has sparked some ideas in some ways that you can use EFT to support you throughout your launch. Also, thinking about discomfort, think outside the box as well. If you are getting stressed and overwhelmed because you have been pushing yourself so hard in launch that you have not gotten to things around the house and you're looking at things like that and that is making you feel overwhelmed, tap there. Even though this mess is overwhelming, it's okay. I am safe and I will get to clean it shortly. Like it's just that reminder as you tap that I am actually safe. And it's okay that I feel this way, but I am safe. And it will start to bother you less. I promise. It is a really, truly amazing tool. So, this tool can help you to bring your conscious desires for your launch. Bring your conscious desires for your launch into reality. Because remember, we need your subconscious mind, we need your body mind to be on the same page as your conscious desires. And if you are standing there saying, I want to have a 100K launch, I want to welcome 20 people into my new program, I want to have, I don't know, whatever your experience is, whatever it is you are desiring from your launch. If you are saying that you desire that, but subconsciously you don't believe that you can earn that level of money, you don't believe that you can hold space for that amount of people, you have fear of being visible. If you have these subconscious beliefs that do not match your conscious desires, then energetically you are closed for business. It is not going to happen. So when you use a tool like tapping, and you can use it again in the moments, I'm having this thought that I am going to fail. Therefore, I'm going to tap on that, even though I believe I'm already going to fail, even though I believe I can't make 100K this launch, even though I believe whatever it is that you are believing, even though I have this belief or I'm scared of being judged or whatever it is for you, I love and accept myself anyway. And I'm processing that now. And as you tap, you are bringing safety to that thought, to that belief, allowing your subconscious to rewire the way it had processed that thought or belief. And you are bringing your subconscious beliefs in alignment with what you want to bring in. You are teaching your nervous system that it is safe for you to hold that thing. And you are forming the internal programming that you need to be able to hold that thing that you want. So go and use tapping in your next launch. Go and download this emotional support toolkit. Again, it is free. There are 5 audios there. And if you would like deeper support, not only in the strategy side of launching, but in the looking after you and staying grounded and navigating things at a really deep level, then let's talk about whether the mastermind is the right space for you, or maybe some private one-on-one launch support as well. So come into my Instagram and share with me, how will you be using EFT through your launch? What are you going to try next time? Is it going to be your self-care? Is it going to be sitting in the stress? Is it going to be spot firing the thoughts that are coming in? Come in to my Instagram and let me know. And I am so excited to see you guys back here next week on Alive and Thriving. Our next episode is going to be a super fun one. I'm literally just about to get off this recording and record it with a very special guest. A lot of you know, I have been embodying my human design for the last 18 months now. I am inviting on to this podcast my human design coach, and she is actually going to basically analyze my chart. I'm feeling a little open and vulnerable. She's going to analyze my chart for you all to see like what it, and I know your charts are all going to be so different, that I want to show you like the depth of how life-changing this can be. And yeah, you get to know me on this whole new depth of level as well, which is really cool. So, going to be a really fun conversation. Tegan is amazing. I'm going to go record that now, and I will have that all ready for you guys next week. All right, have the best week and go and download those tapping audios.
Wow, what a journey it's been today. We are so grateful for each and every one of you who tuned in to Alive and Thriving. If you enjoyed this episode and want to help us keep growing, please consider subscribing and leaving a review on your favorite platform. It's a simple but powerful way to support a small business like ours to continue to make an impact.